So what's going on, guys? DIY Dan here again, and this is another mechanical video. In this video, I'm going to be going over some more possibilities that you might have if you have the check trailer wiring or the check trailer brake system warning and indicators and stupid fucking buzzers coming on with any of your newer manufactured vehicles equipped with a towing package. Now in this video, I'm going to be going over everything from how I diagnose the problem to how I repair the problem, and there is a lot of explanation in this video. And because I am explaining how I'm diagnosing something and I didn't really have footage for that, I will have footage of some of the other repairs that I've done trying to fix this issue as well, which are also good things for you to look into if you are having a similar problem. Now, we are Amazon affiliates, and I will put the links to some of the products that you're going to see in this video or products that I think might help you out if you're having an issue in my description if you want to get some of those coming. Now let's get to it. Now, I do have another video that I posted about 2 years ago about this same issue. So if you get through this video and you've kind of gone over everything that I cover in this one, I will put the icon for that other video at the end of this one you can click on for some additional information. So about 2 years ago when I posted the other video about the check trailer wiring issue that I was having, I had that stupid message going off in my instrument cluster intermittently on my 2017 Chevy 2500 HD with a Duramax truck. And that message was going on and off, pulling two different trailers that I own, my little 14-foot enclosed trailer, and then I also have a 38-foot Weekend Warrior toy hauler that I pull. Now at that time, being as though it was happening on two different trailers, I narrowed it down to the actual truck itself and not the trailer, and that's why I ended up replacing the factory trailer brake controller in the actual dash. Now, to this day, I'm still not 100% sure that changing out that brake controller really did anything. I do think it could cause the trailer brake system warning to come on. However, the check trailer wiring, I would be looking elsewhere for the most part. However, that being said, I have never had the trailer brake system or the check trailer wiring come on while pulling my small enclosed trailer ever since replacing that brake controller. However, I would still have the check trailer wiring come on intermittently while pulling my 38-foot Weekend Warrior toy hauler. And then as time went on, the more I pulled that toy hauler, this issue has gotten progressively worse to the point where it came on over 100 times in about a 3-hour trip with that toy hauler. Now bear in mind, when that message was coming on the dash, all of my trailer lights seemed to be working appropriately. I've actually had people following me, and while that message was going off, I was using all of my turn signals, tail lights, everything, and all of that was working properly. And during the time my check wiring was coming on the display, I was also overriding my electric brake controller and making sure those brakes were working as well, and they were. Now, after doing some more research, because I was really confused by the fact it was throwing that check trailer wiring on the instrument cluster while I was pulling my trailer without using any type of lights whatsoever, no turn signals, no tail lights, I wasn't pushing on my brakes. How was it sensing there was a problem with the trailer wiring? And apparently the truck will send basically a phantom or diagnostic voltage through the trailer and then detect a ground problem or resistance or load back to the truck to determine whether there is a wiring problem in the trailer. I've also heard about people having this problem when they're not even pulling a trailer, and for those kind of situations, I would check anything that I cover in this video going over the truck itself, and obviously not the trailer. A lot of times this might happen in a very wet climate where moisture tends to be a problem, and it gets into electrical connections and causes connections that are not supposed to be there, or corrosion that causes those connection problems as well. Now, during the time span of trying to figure this out, I replaced everything from the trailer pigtail going to the actual trailer. I replaced the entire cord and junction box on the trailer, thinking I had a bad ground there. I had cleaned up all my grounds on the trailer. I had cleaned my grounds on the actual truck, coming from the battery to the chassis of the truck. I had replaced the harness going from my bed pigtail down to my bumper pigtail and to the connection point on the chassis. I had also done the actual pigtail in the bumper pole as well, because I was checking my ground to that pigtail, and when moving that harness going to it, I would get an intermittent open reading from the pin for the ground on the connection to the chassis of the vehicle. I had done some research, and somebody said that when you have solar panels on your trailer, that if the truck senses that there is higher voltage coming from the trailer than what the truck is putting out, that it would also throw that check trailer wiring. So on the trailer, I actually put a diode on the main charge line. So therefore it would let the voltage come from the truck to the trailer, but it would not let it backfeed any of that voltage back to the truck. And that didn't do anything. During one trip, I even tried actually fully disconnecting that charge line going to the trailer to see if the diode was even working properly, thinking that somehow that diode was still letting some voltage backfeed to the truck somehow. And with that charge line disconnected, it would still throw the check trailer wiring in the dash. Then I found out that there's some modules under the truck bed above the spare tire that are also responsible for some of that wiring. So I removed the spare tire and disconnected those modules one at a time to see what would happen there. When I disconnected this module, the message for a trailer brake system immediately came up on the instrument cluster. Once figuring that out, then I plugged that one back in and I went ahead and disconnected this one. This one actually shut down the truck and made it so it wouldn't start. I thought that was the only two modules up there, but then realized there was another one above the first module that I disconnected on a plate. In order to get to that module, there was a total of 3 torque screws that I had to remove in order to pull that plate down so I could access that module. I went ahead and unbolted that, took that down. Once again, I had done some research that said these had possibly gotten water damage in them with some vehicles, depending on the conditions, and that they would get corroded inside. So I actually took the cover off of this by bending the tabs and opening it up carefully. Once removing that cover and not seeing any type of corrosion or anything like that on the circuit board itself, I put that back together by putting some new silicone on it and bending those tabs back over, and then went ahead and put it back on the truck. Now the actual reason I actually took this module apart was because this is one of the items that I had heard when doing research that people have had a problem with when not pulling a trailer and still have that check trailer wiring come on the display. Again, this is hearsay and done by research. I did not personally experience this. Another possibility that I would consider is if you have any type of a boat trailer that this is coming on, is look at your bulbs or lights on your trailer and make sure none of them are filled with water. As I'm sure most of you are aware, water does conduct electricity, so if the waterproof seal goes bad on some of those lights, and those lights on that trailer fill with water, that vehicle pulling that trailer could potentially sense a short to ground and throw that check trailer wiring as well. If this seems like it might be a possibility for your situation, I would recommend just disconnecting one light at a time and use a process of elimination to figure out which light could potentially be your problem. So none of those things that I just went over actually rectified the problem in my specific situation. However, any type of a loose ground connection or a corroded wire that's creating extra load or resistance on that circuit could theoretically cause this check trailer wiring issue to come up on your vehicle. So I did want to make you aware of all those possibilities. Now we're going to get into the actual specific situation that happened on my vehicle. And as most things, especially with electrical, the actual main cause of why I was having this come on ended up being a self-inflicted wound from when I flipped the axles on my 38-foot Weekend Warrior toy hauler to give me more ground clearance over 5 years ago. And the funny part about it is I actually mentioned the fact that this issue could be a problem in my video. In that video, I show the proper way how to do something, and then on the third axle, I did not follow my own advice that I say in that video because I was trying to save time, which ended up being a bad idea. However, the issue I caused by being a little lazy and not wanting to take as much time to do a project can also happen to a trailer just because of wear and tear and time. A very similar issue could be also caused by a bad brake magnet on one of your axles as well, and I will put an icon at the end of this video that can help you out with that as well. When flipping the axles on the trailer, you have to weld new saddles onto the axle in order to reposition the leaf springs onto that axle. And when I did that, one of them, I actually pulled the wire completely out of the axle, and on another one, I just figured if I did spot welds very slowly that I would not heat that axle up enough to do any damage to the wiring that was in the axle. Just so happens that apparently I did get it hot enough where it did melt through the insulation, and then when I was hitting bumps in the road, that wire was jumping around in the axle, and where it had melted was grounding out that wire to the chassis, which obviously was throwing my check trailer wiring because it was sensing a short to ground. So basically what I ended up doing is disconnecting those wires, getting new wires, but connecting them to the old wires, pulling them through the axle, then went ahead and hooked them back up, and problem solved. And while I'm showing you the repair video of me replacing those bad wires that I found, I'm going to be going over the diagnostic process that I used in order to find out what axle was my actual problem. So recently on one of my trips to the dunes, I had a buddy of mine following me to the dunes, and I had him following me for the reason of watching my trailer lights to see if they would flicker, see if they were working correctly as I was going to the dunes. Now when we pulled over to get fuel, when we were about halfway to the dunes, he had mentioned that all the lights were working appropriately and no issues there. Then we got talking and he suggested disconnecting the trailer brakes and see if the message quit going off on the dash at that time. Now, because this was consistently going off every 10 seconds or so, it had gone off about 50 or 60 times in those first 2 hours heading to the dunes. And at that time, I had mentioned to him that I had thought about doing that, but never really had the right situation. Well, it just turns out that while we were going to the dunes, it was not very busy on the roads at all. So once we got off the main interstate, I actually pulled off to the side of the road and disconnected the main power wire going back to those trailer brakes. And go figure, that check trailer wiring completely stopped going off in my instrument cluster. Now, because we were pretty much the only ones on that road at the time, I did drive for about 10 miles with no trailer brakes on my toy hauler just to make sure that that was the problem and it wasn't just a coincidence. The other thing that worked out nicely about doing this test when I did is that the worse the road was, the worse the message would come on my dash, and this was not the best of roads. Once verifying that that check trailer wiring was no longer coming on the instrument cluster, it was time to isolate and figure out which axle was actually causing the problem. So at that point, we pulled over again. I hooked the main trailer brake wire back up, and then I went ahead and went to the back of the trailer and disconnected one axle at a time to verify which axle the problem was actually coming from. Now, one thing you do need to do when you're disconnecting these wires is disconnect both wires from the axle at a time. Because trailer brakes are ran in a parallel wiring system, if you just disconnect one wire, you still might get a feedback on the other wire. So that is why you need to disconnect both wires to each axle at a time when doing this test. So the first axle that I disconnected was the very back axle, and then we got in the truck again and started driving, and within minutes the check trailer wiring was coming on the dash again. So then I pulled over again, hooked the rear axle back up and disconnected the middle axle and went ahead and started driving, and the check trailer wiring did not come on, telling me that that problem was in the center axle of the trailer. Now at that point, because I do have a triple axle trailer and all three of those axles did have brakes, I went ahead and left that middle axle disconnected, still giving me 2 axles of braking power, and I just went ahead and drove very carefully for the rest of that trip. Now, the way I ended up diagnosing this can be very dangerous as far as completely disconnecting your trailer brakes on the trailer. So if you have a similar situation, I highly recommend unloading your trailer, and then it is much safer because you obviously won't have as much weight when doing this test. And then obviously it's going to be much safer just to disconnect one axle at a time if you have multiple axles of braking. So therefore you still have some type of braking force on that trailer at all times while you're doing this test. Now, I do want you to keep in mind that I did do the test that I did in a very safe situation. I've also been hauling very heavy trailers for over 20 years. So I was very confident in order to pull this trailer without those brakes for that 10 miles. However, if something would have got that trailer unstable for whatever reason, I would have had no braking power to get that trailer back under control. So it was a very dangerous thing to do. The other thing, if you're going to do this test, is make sure you're doing it on nice flat ground. Never try this test when you're going downhill, because then if you have no brakes and that trailer starts rolling faster than your truck, you're going to start fishtailing, which can be a very bad situation, especially when you have no brakes to get it back under control. So once again, not to be repetitive, but I do want to say one more time that it's much safer to disconnect one axle at a time and make sure your trailer is unloaded in order to do this test. Now, obviously you saw my situation where the wires in the axle were shorting out to the axle, which was sending a short to ground, which obviously the vehicle was sensing that and throwing that check trailer wiring. Another way you could possibly go to test and see if you have a problem with your wiring is go ahead and find a good ground on the trailer, grab your multimeter and hook one lead to that good ground, and then isolate your wires one by one and see if you're getting a 0 reading, basically telling you have continuity to that ground, and then you could isolate your wiring that way as well. The problem with trying to do the test like this is if your problem is intermittent like mine was, the trailer had to be moving, jumping around on the road for those wires to touch the axle and actually ground out to the frame. Now, if you hook up to your trailer and immediately the check trailer wiring comes on, there is a possibility of doing the test like this. Now, obviously, the short to ground that was throwing my check trailer wiring on my Chevy pickup was self-inflicted from being a dumbass. However, the same situation of something shorting out in your axle is a pretty common problem. There's usually a plastic bushing that kind of protects those wires where it goes into the axle, but obviously over time it gets brittle and tends to break, and then the wires from that sharp edge of the steel in the axle going back and forth over time can wear through that insulation and cause this same problem. So if there is a problem with the wiring inside the axle, most likely it is going to be right where those wires go in and out of that axle. So there is a possibility you can just kind of pull on those wires a little bit and examine those wires, and then if they're not the problem, go ahead and push them back into the axle on each side to verify that. I've also seen the wiring inside the brake drum get pinched or caught on something and rip and tear, so that could be a possibility as well. You could also have one of the electric magnets that's responsible for applying those electric brakes go bad or get melted down. This tends to happen from people not having their electric brake controller set properly in the cab and having it set way too high, basically letting the trailer do all the braking for both vehicles, which overheats that magnet and can cause it to melt down. And the icon to help you guys out with that situation is right above you on the screen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and it gave you some good information. If so, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. The whole concept of my channel is to give you guys the most information in the least amount of time as possible so I don't waste your time. And I hope to see you next time. Have a good one. Later.